Henry Ford once said, coming together is a beginning, staying together is a progress, and working together is success. Good afternoon, affectionate Toastmasters and amicable guests. I'm Toastmaster Anurag, and I am the Sergeant at Arms for the afternoon. I welcome you all to the 98th meeting of VirtuoMasters Club and 491st meeting of IBM Blue Voice Toastmasters Club. And we have a huge round of applause. Now, to have a smooth meeting, we have some ground rules. First is to put yourself on mute when you are not speaking. Second, do not write anything inappropriate in the chat box. If your video is on, make sure you sit in a proper upright position. We will not talk about sex, religion, or politics in a derogatory manner. I would request you to kindly put your phone on silent or switched off mode so that you do not get distracted during the meeting. With this, I would like to hand over the podium to someone who is a prolific speaker, an assiduous being, and a benevolent person. She is none other than the Vice President Education of Virtual Masters Club and the standing president for the day. Please put your hands together for Toastmasters Shilpa. Toastmasters Shilpa, the podium is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anurag. Please keep the applaud going on for the charismatic Sergeant at Arms. Toastmaster Anurag, you always bring smile on faces who attend the meeting. I welcome you all. It's a pleasure to have this joint session today with IBM. We have a lot of distinguished Toastmasters over here. Distinguished Toastmaster Bati is here. And okay, Panna ma'am is not here. She will also join in soon. But let the meeting start officially. And before that, I would like to share a story with you all. One night, 4 college students were out partying late night, and they didn't study for the test, which was scheduled the next day. In the morning, they thought of a plan. They made themselves look dirty with grease and dirt. Then they went to the dean and said they had gone out for a wedding last night, and on their way back to the home, the tire of the car burst. So they had to push the car all the way back. And that's why they are in no condition to take the test. The dean thought for a minute and said they can have the retest after 3 days. They thanked him and said they will be ready by that time. On the 3rd day, they appeared before the dean. The dean said that as this was a special condition test, all 4 were required to sit in a separate classrooms for the test. They all agreed, as they had prepared well in the last 3 days. The test consisted of only 2 questions with the total of 100 points. First question was, what is your name? The second question was, which tire burst? Options were front left, front right, back left, back right. So the moral of the story is take responsibility or you will learn your lesson. Now, as I start the meeting, I would first like to ask if there is any guest to introduce themselves. I can see few people. I don't know if they are guests or Toastmasters. Arnab Nandi, would you please like to introduce yourself?
Yes, yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I am not guest. I am a Toastmaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how you come to know about Toastmasters?
This is all about the Brati sir who introduced me with the these platforms, and then joined. Just recently I joined by last of December, and as your all your some performance was going on, so I could not join there because there some competition was there, na? That's why I did not join there.
Okay.
This is my second times I joined in the clubs for the second Saturday. That's
okay.
Yeah.
We also have Shubhabrata Paul. Would you like to say something?
Yes, I am from IBM Blue Voice Toastmasters Club. I have joined the club around middle of last year, and I'm kind of new to Toastmasters. I'm trying to uh, perform various roles and responsibilities and trying to improve myself, my communication. And today is a great opportunity for me to join this joint session with VirtuoMasters Toastmasters Club, and I am looking forward to a great session. Thank you.
Thank you, Shurota Paul. Hope you will like it today. We also have Ankit Srivastava. He's a Toastmaster, but I would like to hear
Yes,
from
yes,
you also.
yes. I belong to IBM Blue Voice, and VMC has always been a fun and entertaining in terms of providing a great time to all the Toastmasters. And I look forward for a great meeting as we are having a joint meeting together, and that's it.
Thank
Thank you.
you, Ankit, for being here. I would also like to call upon the distinguished Toastmaster Brati, if he would like to say a few words to the new Toastmasters that are there in VirtuoMasters Club.
I'm a Toastmaster as well, and Toastmaster for quite some time. Um, what to say to the new Toastmasters? The only thing I can say is, Toastmaster, please, at least this is what I follow. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. For me, Toastmaster is nothing to be a DTM or have your levels completed or your paths completed. It's all about how you improve from one session to another. If you're doing that, it doesn't matter if you are DTM or not, because the world will understand that you are improving every day. You don't need that DTM tag to prove that. And if you're not, then you need to retrospect. That's it. That's what Toastmaster is all about for me. Over to you, Shilpa.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Vati. That's the learning we get from you all seniors. For the Toastmasters in a VirtuoMasters clubs who are new members, who don't know that distinguished Toastmaster Brati is the charter member of VMC also, if you all don't know about it. Okay, so now I would like to hand over the stage to a beautiful lady. She is also our charter member and a most lovely person. She is an amazing PR person, and she is the past president of KTM. Plus, she is the associate club board director of District 41. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Mridula as the Toastmaster of the day today.
Please keep it going for our standing president of the day, Toastmaster Shilpa. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shilpa, for sharing such a heartwarming introduction. I feel really honored, and it's great to be back to the podium of VirtuoMasters Club. Now, good afternoon and good evening, everybody, to the joint meeting of VirtuoMasters Club and IBM Blue Voice Toastmasters Club. Let's put a huge round of applause and infuse some energy in our meetings. I would like to take this opportunity to share that I am having some connectivity issues. So for some parts of the meeting, I might be on video off mode. But having said that, I would love to see all the smiling faces. And if some of you could at least switch on your videos, thank you to the ones who are already on video mode. And for the remaining, if you can switch on your videos so that all of us can engage, so that all of us can be a part and stay connected through this virtual podium. So thank you so much for everybody. Now, I would like to tell you about the theme that I have chosen for this meeting. The theme is service before self. What is the first thought that comes to your mind when I say service before self? All of us are a part of Toastmasters. For the guests in the house, it is a wonderful platform where you learn to do service before self, where you learn how to be an inspirational leader, when you become motivated by all the good things, all the wonderful learnings that you get through each and every meeting of Toastmasters. Service before self is often related to social work, and we are going to talk about it more in this session. So what is social work? I believe social work is a very dynamic way of reaching out and also accepting the help that we get from others. It is rich in meaning, but it also needs to have action. Social work is often said that it is the art of listening and the science of hope. But it always becomes very special when the value we put in to the work becomes more. But as we know, it is not only enough to empathize and to understand, it's also important to take action at the right time. And today we are going to discuss more about it. But before that, let's talk about the three parts of a Toastmasters session. The first part is the prepared speech section, in which we will be having two speakers today who would be coming up on the podium and sharing their life stories with us, who have been mentored by a senior Toastmaster. The second part of a Toastmaster session is the impromptu speech section, in which we come up on the podium, face the challenges which the impromptu or the extempo topics give to us, the table topics as we call it, and we enjoy in the moment. And the third part of a Toastmaster session is the evaluation speech section, in which all the speakers who come up on the podium will be evaluated by a team of evaluators, by a team of members who will tell you how to become better. As we know that the primary goal of social work is to improve the society's well-being as a whole. And as we know, there are different parts in which we can be, we can contribute to the society. One is the administrator and the management, the administration and the management that we see around us, where proactive leaders in public domain and private agencies come together for the betterment of the society. Advocacy and communication organization, we have child welfare, we have health services, we have policy and planning, we have public welfare and research organizations. All of them come together to do service before self. As I said, the first part of a Toastmaster session is the prepared speech section, and we will go there. But before that, I would like to invite somebody on the podium. He is a dedicated Toastmaster par excellence. He has a professional experience of 21 years, presently working as a computer architect with IBM. He has also been a Toastmaster for about 15 years and has motivated us to dream more and achieve more by becoming a national level district evaluation champion in the evaluation speech contest. He has nurtured Division K, which is inspiring leadership, as a past division director and mentor to many. His take on the topic or the theme is social work is anything you do to make the environment around you better. He's always impressed by the people who donate blood, be selfless for unknown people who they do not even know, and saves millions of lives. So please put your hands together for the general evaluator of the evening, Distinguished Toastmaster Brati Ghosh, Brati Shankar Ghosh. Distinguished Toastmaster Brati, the podium is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Mridula. And can we hear it big from Mridula for starting it with so much energy and bringing in a theme that will all make us think. Service before self. Now, it is quite evident, ladies and gentlemen, that whatever service we do, whatever little we do, good or bad, will always stay far more than we will in this world. And that is why perhaps it is very important, or at least we can say the people with real wisdom always thinks it's very important to have or put more importance to service than in or yourself, because your service will far precede or far extend what you or me will in this world. And that is why perhaps the people who actually put service before themselves are considered someone to look up to. And we always idealizes them as someone who is an example to follow. because those names or those people remain in your memory, remain in our memory for a long time. And that is exactly what perhaps this session today would happen as well. It will remain in our memory for a long time to come. And when such things happen, such bright, brilliant things happen in a short span of times, it sometimes becomes difficult to note all of them. And that is what I will try to do today. Point out to you the facts, the brilliance of the session that has happened today. That I will do a little later in the session when all of you have put in your own performances, your own speeches, your own roles. I'll try to come back and say, okay, did you see that? That was sparkling. And I'll also try to just point out things that, if could have been a little polished, would have shone like a shining star. But of course, I cannot do it alone. And so there are 3 Toastmasters who have volunteered to help me today in this whole practice of pointing out the great stars in today's session. Let me welcome them to the podium for them to tell you what they are going to present to us. Let me call them up one by one. So we'll start with a timer. The timer today is a chartered accountant. And when asked for one example, he will always remember where service was before self. He spoke about this tea stall owner who helped him get a CCTV footage when his bag got stolen from his tea stall. And finally, he could actually recover that bag from that footage. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome, playing the role of the timer and to explain what the timer will do, Toastmaster Ayush. Toastmaster Ayush, the podium is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest. I'm Toastmaster Ayush, and today I will be playing the role of time. In Toastmaster, we learn a lot of things, and in those things, we also learn time management, because we have to be precise how we manage our time. And in Toastmasters, through the speeches and tabletop, 2 different sections, we learn how to manage our time effectively. So for this, there are 3 sections. In the prepared speech sections, the speaker gets 5 to 7 minutes. In the table topic section, the speaker gets 2 to 3 minutes. And in the evaluation, 2 minutes. And in the evaluation section, the speaker gets 2 to 3 minutes. There's an upper limit and lower limit of 30 seconds for the prepared speech and evaluation section. But for the table topic section, there's only a limit of 30 seconds in the upper part. I will show 3 cards. If you could see the screen, I will show the green card when the minimum time has been done, the yellow card when there's a mean time, and the red card when the time is at the last. I will prepare my report as per the session, and I will present my report at the end of the meeting when we will do so by the General Evaluator. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayush. Very well presented. Ayush, the only thing I would suggest to you that probably you could change in this beautiful presentation of yours is not to give the time for the prepared speech, because prepared speech may not be of 5 to 7 minutes. There are various lengths of prepared speeches that would be picked up as you go through the pathway. So you can leave that to the evaluator to present. The other 2 are perfectly done. Otherwise, brilliantly presented. Very well done.
Thank you.
Great. So we go up to the R counter. The R counter today is a teacher, and she fondly remembers about this person whom she doesn't know the name of, but who put in service before himself when there was some, negative elements of the society was disturbing this lady in a train. This person came forward and sort of ensured that she reached her destination safely. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the R counter today to explain the role of the R counter, Toastmaster Sweta. Toastmaster Sweta, the podium is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and to-be Toastmaster. I am Shweta Keshan, the R counter for today. I will play my role as an R counter and I will pay close attention to the crutch words and filler sounds used by the speaker. Crutch words are the sounds which one overused during his or her speech, like he's like are, I mean, well, somewhat, while. Whenever a speaker uses this crutch words more than 2 times, I will say used a couple of times. And whenever a speaker uses these words more than 4 times, I will say used couple of times, multiple times. And I would urge all the speakers not to use these words or overuse these words in his or her speech. I would also request they can replace these crutch words by silent pauses. And again, I repeat that crutch words are not those words which one use and brings a bad impression to their speech. Instead, they can use like this. Oh, Shweta, what happened in right now? Ah, you have done a mess over here. Those words are not crutch words, which can those words can be used. Please don't stop using those words to express your feelings. And I will keep a note if someone overuse these words. I will present my report when called upon to do so. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Well done, Shweta. Very well done. And the part where you distinguish the use of voice-based words like "are" from the crutch words was really, really innovative. So very well done. Right, and then we go to the third volunteer who has volunteered to help me with my general evaluation, the grammarian. The grammarian today is a software professional, and though I know him for only maybe 3 or 4 years, it seems that I have been knowing him for a very long time, because perhaps though there is a big difference between our age, but our interest while in professional or in terms of running and things like that are somewhat similar. This person fondly remembers of a soldier, Jashwant Singh Rawat, who single-handedly fought against Chinese incursion in 1962 to stop them from conquering Arunachal Pradesh. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the grammarian today, Toastmaster Aleko.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, General Evaluator. I will jump right into explaining my role. As a grammarian, it would be my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, and listen carefully to their usage of various quotes, words, and language in general. And I will also be taking a note of all the good usage of words and all the quotes and let's say and the overall grammar that is being used. And at the same time, I will also note down all the not so good usage of words and grammars and try to provide my suggestions after once I prepare the report. And also as a grammarian, it would be my responsibility to give the word of the day. And the word of the day that I have chosen for today is altruism. So altruism means it's a synonym for self-sacrifice, as in line with our theme of today's session. One of the usage of altruism would be the if I'm going to use altruism in a sentence, it would be like the altruism of the firefighters. The altruism of the firefighters showed through their disregard for their own lives when they saved a bunch of people from the fiery building. I will put the sentence as well as the word and its meaning in the chat. So, and I would like to and since it's an e-podium, I would like to ask the audience to encourage the speakers, to use this. And whenever any speaker uses it, please use the virtual applause that is present along with the Zoom meetings to show your support. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator. That would be all.
Thank you, Aleko, for explaining the role so well and choosing a word of the day which is so very relevant to theme. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we come to the end of the introduction of the general evaluation session, which we will have at the end of the session today, the third section in the session today. Just one note, you do not need to be always altruistic to prove that you put service before self. Even if you could improve one little bit, even if you could provide a little bit of enjoyment, entertainment to people around you, you are actually putting service before self. So let's try to do that in the next 1.5 hours we are around here. With that, let me get it back to the team out of the day to continue with the session. Over to you, Toastmaster Mridula.
Can we please have a huge round of applause for our team of evaluators led by Distinguished Toastmaster Brati, please. Now, how many of you actually thought, what is service before self? Can I have a show of hands, please? What is service before self? And why are we discussing about this topic today, on the 29th of January, 2022? I can see a couple of hands getting raised. So what is service before self? How many times have you heard it? I'm not talking about 26th of January. I'm not talking about 15th of August. How many times in the 365 days of the year do you actually think of the term service before self? I came across this motto of the Indian Army. And this is something which is very true in our everyday lives, and we can learn from it every day. So let's have a short quiz on how many mottos of our armed forces can you guess? So who can tell me, who would like to unmute himself or herself and tell me the motto of the Indian Air Force? Let's see how many of us actually know about the great real life warriors, the real life heroes who put their own lives at stake for us every day, effortlessly, without putting a thought. Anybody? Okay, you can Google if you want, or you may not.
Touch the sky.
Touch the sky. So what is it all about? Touch the sky with glory. That is the full motto of the Indian Air Force. It says, it has been taken from the 11th chapter of the Gita, the discourse given by Lord Krishna or to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra during the great war of Mahabharata. Touch the sky with glory. We say excel, take a new flight. But how many times have those real-life warriors taken the flight for our safety? Can anybody come up with the motto of the Indian Navy? Would anybody like to give it a try?
Yeah, in Sanskrit it is Sam no Varuna, like, oh Varun Dev, please take care of us or something like that.
That is true. And we have a round of applause for Toastmaster Anurag and Toastmaster Kshitij, please. So Sam no Varuna, as Toastmaster Kshitij rightly said, is the invocation to Lord Varuna, who is the sea god. In the Vedas, it was adopted by Indian Navy for its emblem. It basically means be auspicious to the river god, to the Varuna god, to the god of water. So with that, let's talk about the iconic global motto. I say global because it really goes beyond the boundaries of India. It goes beyond the boundaries of the Indian Army, the Indian Armed Forces, because it helps us and gives us a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm and tells us that tomorrow is a new day and today is a gift which you can use to make the most of. I will be talking more about the inspiring stories of these real life warriors during the session. But before that, let's come to the first session of today's meeting, which is the prepared speech section. And before I call upon the speaker number 1, I would like to introduce the evaluator 1. The evaluator of our first speaker is a senior SAP consultant in IBM having 20 plus years of experience. She has been a Toastmaster for about 3 years, showing exemplary leadership as a VP membership and the Vice President Education in IBM Blue Voice Toastmasters Club. When I asked her about the theme, she said that she believes social service is about extending help to someone without expecting anything in return. She is driven by an urge to reach out to the people and make a difference. For instance, during the second wave of COVID 19 last year, she volunteered and came forward to help her colleagues by arranging for ambulances and arranging hospital beds in limited time period during emergencies. So let's welcome our evaluator for the first speaker, Toastmaster Sharmishta, on the podium, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mridula, for that wonderful theme. And thank you for selecting such a theme, which really, really makes us think. And thank you for your warm introduction. Today, I'll be reading out the project objective of the first speaker. The objective of the speaker today is, the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her first speech. The speaker would be presenting her second speech from level 1, project 2, from the path effective coaching. Her speech has been mentored by Toastmaster Shilpa Agarwal. So all the best to the speaker. And timer, please note the timing for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sharmishta, for sharing the speech objectives with us. Now, coming to our first speaker. She is a teacher by profession and has been a part of the transformational Toastmasters journey for a year, but has made a reasonably good impact in this limited period of time. She firmly believes that by helping someone in need with the minimum thing that you have makes a huge difference and can create lives and can create a change in their lives. She shared how she has been inspired by her father, who used to go to the orphanage every year to distribute food packets and spend some quality time with them. She is now walking on his footsteps, and the happiness on their faces and the smiles brighten her life as well as theirs, which can only be felt but not described in words. Mentored by Toastmaster Shilpa Agarwal, Toastmaster Reema will be delivering her Level 1 Project 2 Evaluation and Feedback second speech from the Pathway Effective Coaching. With the speech title, Toast a Bouquet of Blunders, please help me welcome the first speaker. A Bouquet of Blunders, Toastmaster Reema.
Please raise your hand whenever you're assigned with a new task or challenges which you never did in your life and don't want to do by thinking, no, I cannot do it. I'll definitely make a mistake. Anyone? Well, if there is no one, then maybe I'm the exceptional one. But if there is someone with the same mindset, hello, nice to meet you, my BFF, best friends forever. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, my fellow Toastmasters, and dear future Toastmasters. I am a person who, whenever a new task or work is given, will start thinking, I cannot do it. It's not my cup of tea. Before even beginning the work, I start imagining, what if the work is not done properly and it turns out to be a blunder? Then how much embarrassment I need to face? No, it's better not to do the work. During my childhood days, I used to actively participate in so many activities, but only in those activities which I was comfortable with. The thing which I like to do, or should I say easy for me to do, while participating in sports, cooking competition, or activities within my comfortable zone. But doing something new used to require a lot of persuasion. Vividly recall about my school fest where I was selected to make a bouquet in a bouquet making competition. And trust me, I am not the person who loves bouquet. And making a bouquet is out of the question. My friend Javeria, who organized the fest and was choosing participants on behalf of our school, came to me, started telling me, Rima, I have written your name in the bouquet making competition. Okay. I was like, no, I don't know how to make a bouquet. Rima, it's an interesting competition. You will learn to make a bouquet and then you can make for your loved ones. You know what? I don't want to learn. No, I want to make. Please remove my name. If I make a bouquet, it will not be a bouquet. It will be something else. And it will be a blunder. No, please remove my name. I don't want to be a laughing stock in front of everyone. 2 days of constant argument with her and lots of pushing from her. Finally, I gave up and agreed to. The day came when I had to make a bouquet. I got very scared when I saw how the other participants were doing and I was just standing. Suddenly, I heard my inner voice telling me, Rima, what are you doing? It's better to do something that is standing and ending up presenting nothing to the judges. Do something. Then I started doing it. And I did it. No, not any blunder. A bouquet. Surprisingly, I made a bouquet first time. And not only that, I also won the third prize. That time I thought it was sheer out of luck. The thought that I'll make a blunder always stayed with me, and that was the main reason for me not to try out new things. I always did the things which was easy for me. Last year, I joined Toastmasters. Before joining, I was thinking, what I'll do. I'm not the person who will ever utter a word in front of anyone. Even no matter how much I prepare, I will end up doing something blunder. And this thought never let me do or try out things. My habit of saying no to new things and fear of being embarrassed and making blunders stayed with me. I clearly remember the day my mentor informed me that I need to deliver my speech. The first thought which came up to my mind that I cannot do it. I'll forget everything and it will be a blunder. I'll not be able to face anyone. No. But with lots of persuasion and effort and advices, I agree and deliver my speech. It was quite well. And slowly, I started doing things which I never did in life, like participating in debate, singing songs in front of everyone, and even giving speeches. The thought of making blunder was there in my mind, but it could not stop me to try anything new. Toastmasters, I have learned something that I can go out of my way. I can explore myself, which I never did before. I never thought of doing it until then. I always lacked the confidence of doing something out of the box. Now, when I sit and realize and think what I was lacking, I realized that before doing any work, the thought of doing blunder was the biggest mistake of my life. As Adolfina said, the fear of making a mistake is a mistake in making, which now I can relate to. So, my dear friends, brooding over blunder is the biggest blunder. To grow and to go out of your way, you need to face your fear and just get out of the fear and just do it. What do you think, Toastmaster of the day?
Let's have a thunderous round of applause for our first speaker who delivered such a powerful speech and inspired all of us to take the initiative and not be afraid of making a mistake, because the fear of making mistake is often more than the actual mistake that we do. By committing mistakes, we can always learn from them. And the way she told us that we should always take pride in the responsibilities that we have is something which we will definitely take back home and ponder upon. Now, continuing with the theme, as I was saying, that service before self, taking initiatives, not being afraid of the unknown, is something which we also learn from the Indian Army. The Indian Army not only protects us, but it helps us to understand the core value of humanity, the core value of our existence, to reach out and help each other. Maybe we cannot go on rescue missions like the Indian Army, the Naval Forces, the Air Force in flooded areas, or in extreme conditions, maybe we cannot contribute in holding the ground in the Siachen Glacier, which is about 5,000 meters above the sea level. Maybe we cannot go on foot to the biggest civilian rescue missions in the world, or we cannot put in our blood and sweat to build the highest bridge in the world, the Baili Bridge in Ladakh, which was also constructed by our armed forces. But what we can actually do is to learn from them and to learn from each other, seek inspiration, and move ahead in life by helping each other out, by empowering each other, by reaching out. With that thought, let's move on to the next speaker of our meeting. And before that, I would like to invite our evaluator, our second evaluator for the day. Let me introduce this wonder woman. The evaluator of our second speaker is fondly known as the Iron Woman of VirtuoMasters Club. She has been the immediate past area director of Area Q3 and the charter president of VirtuoMasters Club. With her ever smiling face and a positive attitude, she has inspired many like me. In her words, social work is using her pluses to minus the sufferings in society. Couldn't have put it in a better way. Toastmasters has given her a lot of confidence and inspiration to support and serve people through effective communication skills. With a huge round of applause, let's welcome our evaluator number 2, Toastmaster Seema Ramesh, to share the project objectives of our second speaker, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mridula, the Toastmaster of the evening. Wonderful job done. And thank you for that very warm introduction. Well, today my speaker is going to deliver her level 1 project in researching and presenting from the Path Innovative Planning. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. The timer, please note the time frame is 5 to 7 minutes, and I wish the speaker all the very best. Over to you, Toastmaster Deep.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Seema. Can we have a round of applause for the second evaluator, please? Now, let's invite the second speaker for the evening, who has 2 years of professional experience in IBM and has been a Toastmaster for 1 year, during which she had a fulfilling journey, learning from some amazing personalities. Every session, she said, has been instrumental in her growth as a communicator and a leader. She believes in leading by example. During her 3 years of volunteering service during the weekends, she has evolved and grown as a person through the impact of the consistent efforts that she could put. Mentored by Toastmaster Shormishta, Toastmaster Namami will be delivering her Level 1 Project 4 research and presentation speech from the innovative planning part. With the speech titled The Rabbit Story, please help me welcome our second speaker for the evening, Toastmaster Namami. Toastmaster Namami, The Rabbit Story.
Thank you. And I'd like to share my screen first. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to everyone. On 23rd of January 2022, I was coming back from a mini trip. And we took a halt at a dhaba, at a roadside dhaba, to have some chai. The reason? Because the people that I was traveling with were tired of my grogginess because I was deprived of my morning and evening cup of chai. So also, I was really trying hard not to order chicken pakora because I have been trying to cut down on the junk food. Naturally, my eyes and my brain started searching for distractions. And right there, I saw a scene, which basically became the inspiration point for this speech. So there it goes. The rabbit story. This dhaba had 2 cages where there were rabbits. In the first cage, in front of the first cage, there was a boy of age around 19 to 21, and he was trying to record the rabbits. And in the other cage, there was a boy of age 6 to 7, and he was also trying to play with the rabbits. Both of them were trying to feed the rabbits inside the cages. And after some time, the rabbits of both the cages did take a bite of the food which was being offered to them. However, there was something interesting which I noticed. Our first boy, boy 1, was trying to record the rabbit eating. And I really thought to myself, wow, that's a nice idea because the video would look something like this, super cute, right? However, what I noticed was that our first boy was trying to record, but he looked really sad. And it was as if he was in a funeral trying to feed the dead. And as soon as the rabbit took a bite of the food that he was offering, he stayed there for 30 to 45 seconds, dropped the food, and just kept walking, reactionless, emotionless, and lifeless. However, the younger one, oh my God, the moment the rabbit took a bite from the food that he was offering, he started jumping and he started clapping. There was no one around him. He was doing all that all by himself. As if that was the happiest moment of his life and this was the happiest day of his life. Here I was, taking a sip from my chai, trying to control my urges to order a pakora, and confused. How can there be such drastic difference of reaction to the same situation? And this little boy forced me to introspect my own day, the last few hours of my own day. Because you see, I came back from a mini trip and the place that I was beautiful. I was going crazy for the beautiful place. And I was also going crazy about recording the beautiful place. You see, This boy made me introspect and think, was I trying to absorb the place or not? Did I allow my skin to feel the breeze? Did I allow my eyes to feast on the green lush, on the bright blue sky, and to enjoy the contrast of green and blue that the nature had to offer? And the answer was no, I did not take that pause. And why so? Why this craze of capturing everything? And I realize in today's world, we have been fed with this idea. If something is not captured and shared in social media, that event did not even occur. Now, don't get me wrong. Social media is amazing. Taking pictures, sharing with the world is amazing. But being enslaved by these devices, forgetting the balance, is a problem that we must address. And therefore, I went back home and did some research. This is what I found. Google records 40,000 searches every single second. Every single second. At Instagram, 870 pictures get uploaded every single second. Also, an average user opens the WhatsApp application 25 to 35 times. And 50% of the time, the mobiles that we use is for the purpose of social media. Now, let us not get confused with all these percentages and everything, okay? Let us try to do some simple basic math. A person with a smartphone, on an average, spends around 3 to 5 hours on the phone. Let us consider Toastmaster Rabbit. Toastmaster Rabbit spends 4 hours on the phone every day. Therefore, in a month, which has 30 days, Toastmaster Rabbit spends a total of 4 into 30, 120 hours per month. Toastmaster Rabbit, if converted, spends 5 days a month on the phone. Now, again, social media and smartphones are a powerful tool. However, the question that we must ask is this tool using us, or are we using this tool? So next time when we are mindlessly scrolling through our Instagram feed, when we are just going through the WhatsApp stories, the Facebook stories, the YouTube reels, I just want all of us to take a pause. Take a pause and ask yourself this one single question. Is the juice even worth the squeeze? Is the 30 seconds of instant gratification worth losing 5 days every month? Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, and thank you everyone for lending your attention.
Let's have a huge round of applause for our second speaker for the evening, Toastmaster Namami, who actually made us take a step back, immerse ourselves in the research that she has done, and understand how smartphones or how the social media is having a direct impact on how productive we can be in our daily lives. How many hours we can spare so that we can do some service to ourselves and service to others by taking care of our productivity. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Namami, because you helped us understand this vital point. So moving on with the theme, how many of you, with a raise of hands, let me know, how many of you know when is the Army Day celebrated in India? Any guess? Okay, if you can guess the month in which the Army Day is celebrated.
It's January 15th.
Yes, that is absolutely right, Toastmaster Kshitij and Toastmaster Rima Das. Can we have a round of applause for both of them, please? The Army Day, as we know, is celebrated every year to commemorate the day when Lieutenant General K.M. Cariappa took over as Commander-in-Chief of India in January 1949 from General Sir Francis Butcher. The day is observed to honor the brave soldiers of the Indian Army, both living and martyred, who risked and sacrificed their lives to guard their country, our people, us. The ceremonies begin in Delhi by paying tributes to the martyred soldiers at the Amar Jawan Jyoti at Indian Gate. The motto of the Indian Army, as we know, is service before self, and its mission is to ensure national security and national unity and defending the nation from external aggression and internal threats while maintaining peace and security with its borders. Now, these are the inspiring stories that we listen, that we feel inspired by, that we read in the newspapers, that we see on the television. These are the recognized and celebrated real life heroes. How many of you can recognize or have seen these movies? Can I have a raise of hands, please? I can see 2 hands going up, 3 hands, 4 hands. Okay, I can see 6+ hands going up, and I'm sure that all of us have felt united when we watched these serials, when we watched these movies. Each of them talk about a certain story, a story for us, a true life experience for the people on whose lives these have been created. Special Ops may be a work of fiction. The Family Man may be a work of fiction, but they celebrate the lives of all those unsung heroes who lay their lives, who sacrifice a normal, regular life, who put themselves before, who put their dreams of protecting their people before themselves, before even their family. I'm sure all these real life heroes must have struck a chord with you. Some of them talk about a fictional story of a research and analysis wing who finds similar patterns in different ways in which our country might be protected and maybe convince or negotiate with a single person who is behind these activities to change their minds. These task force teams live in various parts of the world while they aim to catch the people concerned. And I today would like to take this opportunity to share one story about such an inspiring individual. I hope my screen is visible. This is somebody, Rameshwar Kao. If you have heard of him, I can say that you must have been very inspired with his life story. Rameshwar Kao is the father of India's external intelligence, and he was a super spy who had been photographed only twice in public in his entire career. He is also the founder of RAW in 1969. RAW, as we know, the Research and Analysis Wing, which is the Secret Service agency in India. He has been a mastermind behind protecting our country, and such was his stature that the agents in RAW, the agency he served as his chief till 1977, were called cowboys. His title was Cow, and that's how he was called so. So this is one inspiring story of Rameshwar Nath Kao, an unsung, unknown hero who served our country. With that, let's move on to the next part of this session. And for that, we will be having two role players who would be leading the way for us. First up, I would like to introduce the table topics evaluator, Toastmaster Kshitij. He's one of the most creative people I have met in Toastmasters. He is always busy juggling his studies, working hard to fulfill his aspirations to be a researcher in the field of medical science, and a musician. He is a Prarabdhik and Sangeet Bhushan awardee who often mesmerizes us with his beautiful renditions. Presently, he's serving as a secretary of VMC, or as he likes to say, our Virtue Magical Club. Social work to him is a divine way to help oneself by helping people. Let's put a huge round of applause for our table topics evaluator Toastmaster Kshitij.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmasters to be. I am Chetish, and as said, I am your table topic evaluator for the day. I will be evaluating and assessing and taking notes of the participants, the volunteers of this impromptu session, and will be giving my report at the end of the session when called to do so by the general evaluator. Whether it is your first time, dear guests, please do participate. It is amazing to be a table topic speaker. Or if it is your 50th or 100th time, please again participate. We would love hearing you. Thank you, and over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kshitij. Can we have a round of applause for him, please? Next up is the person who is going to spearhead this amazing and wonderful, exciting, and enthralling session of this evening. She is somebody who always inspires me with her positivity. She's a software engineer by profession and has benefited through continuous learning in the past one year in Toastmasters. She loves to make friends, learn from them, and spread happiness. To her, social work is about dedication, integrity, and diligently working for the society. She is most inspired by her role model, her mother, who had started volunteering at a very early age to teach students while being in the 11th standard herself. She is a firm believer that education and awareness can bring about changes of far greater magnitude in the society. With that, let's welcome our table topics master for the evening, Toastmaster Reema Das.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mridula, for such a wonderful introduction. So, good afternoon, everyone, my fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. I hope you have, I'm sure, actually you have enjoyed the sessions so far. So today I am your table topic master, and I'm pretty sure that with the topic which I will introduce, that you can easily speak and it will entertain all of us. So in this section, I will just briefly state the rules. So in this section, I will ask my fellow Toastmaster and guests to choose one topic, and they have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. For Toastmaster, they have to talk on the topic they will choose at first. But for the guests, they have the privilege. They can choose another topic if they are not comfortable with the first one. Okay, and timer, please note the timing for the table topics is 1 to 2 minutes, and there will be a 30-second extra timing on the upper side also, upper side only. So the speaker who will speak less than 1 minute and more than 2 minutes, 30 seconds, those will be disqualified. Well, service before self. This is today's theme, and with this theme, the name what came to my mind first is Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, who always had shown altruism for the well-being of the people of this nation. He always served for the people of India and without thinking of himself before doing anything. And I think I don't need to give any more introduction or thing about him, because we all know how he led the freedom struggle against British rule. So why I'm saying about Mahatma Gandhi? Because today is 29 January, and on 30th January 1948, he was assassinated by Nathuram Godse. So 30th January is the date which is observed as Martyrs' Day or Shahid Divas in the national level. So I am here with his few of his words, and we are here to pay tribute to this great freedom fighter. So just let me share my screen and can I have one volunteer, please, for the first topic? The screen sharing is disabled. Can someone enable it for me?
Would request the host, Toastmaster Shilpa, to kindly enable the screen sharing.
Yeah, it's not visible. Toastmaster Rima, I just made you the co-host. You can share your screen now. Yeah. Okay. Great. I can't see the chat now, but can I have one volunteer, please?
Yes, I will be sharing the names.
Okay. Okay, and one more thing, I have the privilege to choose someone from this in this podium if there will be no volunteer.
I can go, Rima. Namami here. Toastmaster Rima, Namami here.
Thank you, Toastmaster Namami.
Okay,
Can
do
you
I get
please
to
choose one number?
Yeah, just 1 second. I'm just looking at your screen. Just a second.
Yeah.
I don't know. Number 8.
Great. Well, Toastmaster Navami, your topic is the future depends on what you do today. The future depends on what you do today, Toastmaster Navami.
The future depends on what you do today. We often make big plans on how to achieve big goals. And the most important factor, which always remains often ignored, are the small progress is the way to achieve big goals, right? And we think that our actions, since we are concerned about our future, we keep planning our future actions. However, the best way to plan the future is to have action, be doing action in the present. Me as a person, I love to plan. I love to write journals, and maximum of the time, those plans are never fulfilled. However, this thing is something which I have understood in almost 6 to 7 years of writing to-do lists, which were never accomplished, is that if we keep on thinking about the future and if we keep on procrastinating, saying that we will do it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow, the tomorrow arrives at our doorstep and we are at level 0 since we did not start on the first day itself. Therefore, if you have any plans to do something in the future, then I would suggest you start taking a small step, a little action today itself, so that your future is secured by your small little steps and you can progress in your future with those small little steps. What do you think, Toastmaster Rima?
Yeah, that's a great take, Toastmaster Naomi. And can I have a round of applause for her? Thank you. Yeah, I obviously think that if you need to do something, do it today, because don't keep the things waiting for so long, because the tomorrow will never come. Tomorrow you will say again that let's do it tomorrow. So it will go on in the life. Okay, great. So I can see there are 3 hands already. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, Toastmaster Arnav, please choose one number.
Yeah, 9.
Okay. Great. Toastmaster Arnav, a man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. A man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. Toastmaster Arnav.
Yeah, thank you, Rima. a man is a man. It's refers that not the. It also refers to everyone. Man is not only the man; it's also the woman, kids. Everyone's in our everyday's life. That what we think we becomes that. Can you show that page once? Means I have to see that. What Rima, Toastmaster Rima, can you share that?
Yeah, let me tell you the topic.
Yeah.
A man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes.
Okay, got it. Actually, what product makes? Product is make of the raw materials. The raw material that is required for a product, that's the raw material. If the raw material is in good quality, the product will be in good quality. If the raw material is in bad quality, and the product will be in bad quality. So like that, everybody, if you are thinking in a bad sense, in a negative sense, and always tracing our life or blaming our life, blaming everything, whatever we have seen around, then we also be kind of like that negative persons, and our future will be like that. If we always see the positivity in everything, everyone's thought, everyone's mind, and everybody, then we will be the kind of that person. So that's why this thought is so correct, that a man is a product of his thought, and that what he becomes. Thanks. Thank you. What?
Thank you, Toastmaster Arnav. A great take, I must say. A man is a product of his thought. He should plan, be it a man, be it a women. A man, a human being should plan for the things he or she will do, and whatever he or she thinks, that will be completed in future. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let me share my screen again. I'll choose Dr. Rupesh Singh. So can I choose one number? 8 and 9 are taken.
Go for 10.
Yeah. To Dr. Rupesh, in a gentle way, you can shake the world. In a gentle way, you can shake the world, Dr. Rupesh.
Very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and we would-be Toastmaster in virtual form. Yes, in a gentle way, you can shake the world. It's your thought. Mahatma Gandhi, we talk about Mahatma Gandhi. He never thought he will become the Raspita, nation of the father one day. We are talking about Subhash Chandra Bose. He never thought he will become one of the top freedom fighter, and he'll give the slogan, "Tum mujhe khoon do, main tumhe azadi dunga." You give me blood, I'll give you freedom. He never thought. Your deeds, what you are doing in every day, in day-to-day life. I take example of my brother. In the childhood, he had dreamed. One day he will become an army person. He'll serve the nation. But the thing is, what he did, he every day, every pulse of second, after a study, he used to think how he will go and be a part of Indian Army. Even there's a rain, he used to wear raincoat and go for run every morning, because he knows whenever he'll go, when he'll be 18 years old, when he'll go, he need to cross this physical training. And if he will fail, he will not become part of the Indian Army. But after that, not only he got chance to become Indian Army, he got chance to fight the battle for Kargil. He got nominated for Veer Chakra for his bravery. In his war, his left hand got injured because he was leading some front and enemy was there. Enemy thrown the grenade and his hand got damaged. But still, from one hand, he tried to kill all these enemies with their friend. After that, he went on coma. He was in hospital for 90 days. And when I met him, he was just out of coma, and he told, and I started crying. He told, brother, you need not to cry. You should be proud because your brother did something good and fought for the nation. But don't worry, I killed every enemies and we are safe. My dear friend, this is small deed can save the family, save the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh. I mean, it's a great bravery story that we heard from you, and let's salute to your brother who served for the nation. Thank you. Okay, Toastmaster Seema, can you go next? Yeah. Toastmaster Seema, can you choose one number?
I'll go in for number 5.
Okay. Toastmaster Seema, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Toastmaster Seema.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, and good evening, everyone. At a very young age, I was always inspired by my parents in selfless service. It became a part of my life because on an everyday basis, I would see them do something really out of their way in order to help their colleagues or friends or even family. So this was my upbringing. And later on, when I became a mother myself, I wanted to instill this in my children. Because service is something which you can even begin at home. It need not necessarily be that you have to go out into the world and you need to be in some organization or get yourselves in the paper saying that you have done so and so thing. So on a daily basis at home, one real good way of trying to help anyone is probably someone who's not as fortunate as you are. For instance, if you have a household help, or you have a person who is helping you drive the car, you can really support them in any way that you want to. It need not necessarily be the monetary way, but you can empower them. So losing yourself into bringing or supporting anybody is a selfless way that you can do on an every single day. One of the most important incidents which I remember was my young daughter at the age of 5. She wanted to help the driver, the person who was driving her every day to school. Now, one way that she wanted to help was all the sweets that she had collected over the past month, she wouldn't eat it. Because she would say, I get cavities in my teeth, but she wanted to help out that driver's child by giving that month full of collected chocolates. She lost herself totally into that and restricted herself from eating the chocolates. And one fine day at the end of the month, she gave all of this to the driver and told him to give it to his child. Now, this is something that an innocent child did. And if an innocent child can understand that losing yourself into service, how minimalistic as possible, I think we as adults can do a lot to shake the world this way. What do you think, Table Topic Master?
Yes, I think the same. Toastmaster Seema, even I'm pretty much sure that she learned from her home, from you, and because we all know the parents are the best teacher. And yes, I mean, you need to dedicate yourself to the service of others firstly, and then you will get it in return. You will get it something in return, obviously. Thank you, Toastmaster Seema. Great. So next, Toastmaster Shubhabroto. Let me share my screen.
Yes, Toastmaster Rima.
Can you choose one number from this screen? 5, 8, 9, 10 are taken. Okay.
4.
Okay. Toastmaster Shubhabroto, your topic is strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Strength doesn't come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Toastmaster Shubhabrata.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rima, for this wonderful topic. It's a life lesson which we should all learn and instill in our kids and the future generation of the world. In childhood, I have read about the story of Robert Bruce, who lost his war 7 times, and he was languishing in the cave and trying to get back his kingdom. He failed so many times, but he kept insisting on, he kept his patience, he kept trying, and he was finally able to win the war and get back his kingdom. This year, we are going to have the 75th year of Indian independence. Our country was under British rule for so many years. And if it is not for the selfless service and the altruism of our freedom fighters, we would not have seen this day. It is because of their indomitable will, not of their physical strength, that we are in this situation now and we are enjoying our freedom and we are part of this developing world with a bright looking future. Whenever we set a goal, if we don't have the indomitable will, we will never succeed until we keep our patience and keep pursuing our goal with dogged determination. Physical strength may not always win. It is because of the will of a person to live that a patient who is lying on the hospital bed sometimes recover even in the situation that the doctors themselves have given their hope. It is because of the will they are able to survive. So it is because of the will we will go forward, not always because of the physical strength. What do you say, Toastmaster Rima? Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with you, Toastmaster Shubhabrata. Especially for the story of this patient. Yes, he or she, the patient is not physically fit, but if they have the indomitable will, they have the willpower to survive, so they can survive any disease, according to me. Thank you. A great take on the topics. I'll go for the last table topic. So can I have someone to volunteer on this? If not, I need to choose someone. Anyone? Okay. Okay, I got one name, Rajesh. I think he's the guest. Maybe Bratida, I can go later for the table topics with you. Okay. So Rajesh.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Let me share my screen.
Can I talk next?
Sorry.
Actually, I'm confused. Actually, I feel nervous. That's why I said.
Okay, there is no need to feel nervous. We are. I mean, if you are guest, if you are very much welcome in our podium, and we all are learning. So, if you can choose one topic, if you are not comfortable with the first topic, then you can choose another one. So just give it a try. What do you say?
Okay, I'll try it myself.
Yeah. Okay, so 4, 5, 8, 9, and 10 are taken. So you can choose between 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7.
1.
Great. Okay. You, Rajesh, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. You must be the change you wish to see in the world, Rajesh.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Good evening, Toastmaster, everyone. Good evening. Actually, today my first day. Sorry for I'm feeling actually nervous actually. Okay, actually, I don't change or not. I'm not sure. So everyone like education is favor for everyone, need for education. Okay. Also, I want to like education is very much for everyone. But no. Actually, I want to say education in the top level in the world. Without education, we cannot able to anything. But education is not give your life. Not suppose you go to you are educated. Okay, next time you need to job. Okay, or after that you need to you want to marry someone. Suppose you will not get job, you will not get married, so you go to through suicide, or some you will get drug, you get take drugs or alcohol something. So education is not a good way for your in future, right? And I feel I'm not explaining perfectly. I know understood myself, but with the education, so I want to say education is not only one way you go to better life. So what to do? Need to your other thing, you go to first you above, without except education, you go to God, pray. Go to pray, you get internal happiness. So not to take any step like suicide or take alcohol or anything. You want to need yourself, you a great future or great happiness. You need to go to God, in front of God. Without God, you will not go to able to better life or everything. Sorry, my communication is not good. Does I try to? I don't know. Sorry.
That's definitely fine. Can you have a huge round of applause for Rajesh? This is his first time.
Actually, my communication is not good. So I'll try to explain something.
So Rajesh, I want to say that
I have get everyone getting something. I know.
So no problem, Rajesh, because this podium is we all are here to learn, and in this way you can work on your speaking skills. Like I'm working on my speaking skills, and when I first time participated in the table topics, I choose the second topic. I didn't go for the first topic, and I must say that you choose the first topic and speak on it, and that's something from my side. Thank you, Rajesh, for participating. So I just want to ask our Timothy Omudi, Nidula, can you go for one more topic, or because we have already completed 6 topics?
Okay. So I would like to seek the approval of our standing president and our general evaluator for this, please.
Yes, I think we can go for one more topic.
Okay, great. Then our next participant is DTM Brati. Yeah. Yeah, DTM Brati, please choose one number. 2, 3, 6, and 7 are pending.
6.
DTM Brati, a weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. A weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. DTM Brati.
When we were small kids, you'd remember it was very easy for us to get into fights with our friends and in the next moment become great friends again, because it was very easy for us to forget. Now, forgiveness is something, I'm not going to religiousness, but forgiveness is something that comes when you attain a level that is above maturity. Now, when you're kids, you're not mature, right? You're known as immature, but you still have that character of forgiveness in you. Forgiveness is something that is associated when you cross that middle layer of maturity, when you cross your ego, when you finally understand that what you would be remembered is what is the theme today. That when you serve, you'd be remembered, not because of your ego, not because of your fights. So ultimately, this remembers a great lesson that I once learned from my own son. So this was during the puja time, and I've taken my son to a local pandal, and he was going and trying to beat on the drums. He was a small boy of around 4 5 years at that time. He was trying to beat on the drums that you have on the puja pandals, and there was some this elder boys who were not trying to or allowing him to beat, and he was pushing him away. But he kept coming back to them and trying to beat the drums. And finally, one of the boys did a little bit of a heavy push, and he fell down and got a little cut on his hand and started crying. Ultimately, he stood up, and this boy came up and apologized, and he stood up, again became friends, and then he was also allowed to beat the drum. What I learned that day, that if you forgive and if you persist, you are much more stronger than you can get into a fight. Ladies and gentlemen, to forgive is considered to be divine, and that it is so. It is much more difficult to forgive, and such is why to forgive is too strong, to be violent is to be with the weak. Over to you, Toastmaster, Tabletop is Master Rima.
Thank you, DTM Brati. Yeah, I must say that your son is very brave in this thing, because if I was in his position, then I must stood up and fight with the other person. But yes, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, as we know from the great sayings from Mahatma Gandhi. So we have to learn to forgive others. Otherwise, we will not survive. The humanity will not survive. Thank you, DTM Brati. So thank you for your participations, and I apologize, I can't switch on my video because there's a bad network issue. And thank you everyone for the great session. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Vidula.
Can we have a huge round of applause for our table topics master for the evening and all the speakers, all the members and the guests who had the courage to come up to the podium and share their thought on an impromptu table topic speech. Can we have another huge round of applause for all the speakers of the evening? They not only took the courage, took the plunge, and challenged themselves, but they also inspired us by sharing some very personal stories about their life experiences. Taking cue from Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh Singh's experience and his brother's life story, which inspires us to understand the sacrifices that the Indian armed forces have made for us over the years, since the time of independence and even before that. As you were saying about the Indian National Army, there's somebody who has inspired me like nobody has ever done, and that is our own Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. No matter how much I read about him, I read about how great of a philosopher, how great of a mentor, what a terrific leader he was. I always learn something new about him. And today I'm also going to share a little bit about what I learned new about him this time around. I learned about a lady called Saraswati Rajaman. How many of you have know about the Rani of Jhansi Regiment of INA? I'm sure almost all of us have read about it in our history books, have learned about it, have taken inspiration from them. But there is this one lady who is a national. I would say is, because a martyr and a soldier lives on beyond the last breath. And that is why I say that even though she is born in Myanmar, in Rangoon, present-day Myanmar, and she was a member of one of the richest families of Rangoon, Her family owned gold mines, but her family were staunch nationalists, and they believed that India should take the freedom that she so much deserves from the British Army. And that is why she joined the regiment. At the age of 16 years, she donated all her jewelry in INA and later joined the forces as a part of the military intelligence of the unit. She did something which is not really known. She is an unsung hero because she had the courage to masquerade the army, the British National Forces, as a boy and find out information so that it could help our forces. Such is the sacrifice of this lady called Saraswati Rajamani. Such unsung heroes always inspire us to go beyond the ordinary. And I would just like to tell you, take the pledge and have the courage to take the next step. Throughout the discussion of this entire session, there are two words that we learned, that we heard of a million times. How to be altruistic, how to be kind, how to have an indomitable spirit, but most importantly, service before self. Now, do you think that service and self are mutually inclusive or mutually exclusive? Think about it. Hold on to that thought as we delve into the points of improvement from our general evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Brati Ghosh and his team of evaluators. Let's move on and hand over the stage to our general evaluator with a thunderous round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Mridula. And can we continue that applause for Mridula for conducting such a nice and flawless session with so much interactiveness? Thank you, Mridula, for presenting us with a gem of a session today. We'll come to that in a minute, but let us get on with the task of the evaluation of the session, and we'll start with the evaluation of the speeches. So the evaluator of the first speech, which was given by Rima, is Sharmishta. So Sharmishta, if you could please present your evaluation.
Thank you, Sir General Evaluator. Well, one of the eminent American writers said, "Fear kills more dreams than failures ever will." Good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and dear guest, and to Toastmaster Rima in particular. We have seen this line coming into reality today. If your bouquet of blunders could make you such an eminent Toastmasters as you stand today, we would all love to have that bouquet for ourselves. There are many things about your speech which I liked. And to name a few, first, you had a wonderful start. You have started with a question, how many of you? And you have invited the answers from the participants and the audience. That was a brilliant start. The second thing that about your speech was your energy, your passion, the way you moved around the stage, the way you choreographed, and the way you used the hand movement. It was amazing. It imbibed the energy and it glued the audience, hooked the audience to your speech. The third thing about your speech, which I like, was your personal stories. Your personal stories about how you prepared that bouquet for the first time, and your personal stories about how you could not utter or had the courage to speak, do your speech, the first speech in the Toastmasters podium, and then how you overcome your fear. Your personal stories had glued or imbibed the interest in us, and it had helped in carrying the message that you had it helped us to carry that thought or to message with us. And the last but not the least, a very powerful ending, which you have done with a very strong quotation. Fear of making a mistake is the mistake in making. So this thought, the ending actually will have the very nice impact with all the audience, and it will have the message engross, or it will be will help us to absorb that message in it. But a few recommendations for you. I felt that this was your second speech of the project, and the recommendation that was given to you was to imbibe the pauses and the voice modulation, and you took it very seriously. And I felt that due to many motion, I mean the stage movement was more than it was required, and also the pauses were more. So if you could introduce the pauses at the right position, it would make your speech more powerful. And also, you mentioned that you were finally able to make the bouquet, but how you made it, if you could give that example, then it would have been a wonderful, more impactful. So in the summary, you had a brilliant start, you had your personal stories and a great energy, but with the few recommendation of using the pauses at the right speech, and if you had given more example with how you made the sting, your speech would have been a wonderful way. Kudos to you and all the best for your next speech. Thank you.
Very well presented, Toastmaster Sharmishta. Though I believe maybe you could have worked on making it a little shorter, but otherwise very well presented in the CRC approach, and very good points suggested. So well done. Rima, the only thing that I could add on to what Sharmishta suggests is this was a brilliant speech, brilliant message, and very well presented. Maybe some tweaking would make it even more better. So for example, when you had the first question, so your question went on for more than 3-4 sentences. When you are asking the audience something, try to make it very, very short. How many of you fear doing something for the first time? That's good enough. If you need to, repeat a second question. How many of you are afraid of failures? Maybe a second question. So when you ask the repeated question on the same topic, that thing gets a lot of more focus than having a question that is very long, because then the interest is lost by the time you end the question. Otherwise, I agree with what Sharmishta suggested. Very well presented, brilliant message, and a lot of energy on the podium. Well done. Right, so we go on to the second evaluator today of the speech by Namami, and the evaluator is Toastmaster Sima Ramesh. Simaji, if we could request you to present your evaluation.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator and members of the audience. Very good evening once again. Is it going to be a story on Roger Rabbit? Or maybe the rabbit and the tortoise? But no, Toastmaster Namami made sure that she brought out the similarities between a rabbit, which is one of the most social animals, and human beings. Some of the best things that I really liked about your speech, Toastmaster Namami, is the way you started out with a personal story. As any speaker of good caliber will always resort.
Wish to see in the world. And
please go ahead, Shimaji.
So at that point of time, when you were talking about your personal story, it seemed very simple and to the point. What was it about, or the content of your speech? You made sure that everybody understood the fact that capturing moments is what is on everyone's mind when you go on a small trip even. And the most important thing is that we pay more attention to capturing the moment than living the moment. I love the way you brought that out, Toastmaster Namami. Another thing which I really liked about your speech was your data presentation. You made sure that you brought it out all in points, how people are so engrossed, how many people in a span of one day will, they keep on thinking about what to post on the Facebook, on the Instagram, the entire social media. Very well done. Another thing that I really liked about your speech is the way you concluded by coming forth, moving forth, and saying, is it worth the juice? Very brilliantly done. However, Toastmaster Namami, when we talk about a speech, or when we speak about something as common as the social media interference in our lives, we need to make sure that we can support it in a proper way. Your project is researching and presenting. So one of the things that I would recommend is the choice of topic. Now, this topic is sort of like run of the mill, right? Everybody knows that social media is defective. So if you could have chosen a much more interesting topic where people have not heard about it, that is the meaning of research. Like you yourself would have found it very interesting to have taken a research on something very different. Another recommendation would be some of the movements where it was not required, it was pretty forced, like you were moving from left to right. So those forced movements, you need not make it. You can just stand still and explain what you have to do so it does not become distracting. And speaking about distraction in your presentation, one of the second slides was about the rabbit movement, the chewing. So I found that a bit distracting. I was trying to figure out whether to look at the cute rabbit or to listen to you. So make sure that the presentation that you're doing is relevant at the moment of the speech. And last but not the least, to conclude, I think if you've taken a few of these recommendations, your speech can really move from better to the best. Just keep in mind about the topic that you choose for a researching and presenting. And it is not mandatory to have an actual presentation. You can just deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech and gain the audience's attention. So looking forward to more speeches from you, Toastmaster Namami. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Seemaji, for that very, very nicely presented evaluation. Very well done. The very good points for improvements, and the way of presentation was so very calm. Maybe I can suggest just one thing. Maybe you can try to keep the commendations to a lesser amount of time, because then that would leave much more time for the recommendations for you to come up with your recommendations. But very, very well presented. Namami, in addition to what Seemaji said, there is not much I can add. Just one suggestion: since this is a research speech, it will always add credibility if you can give the place from where you got the numbers, right? So for example, if you said, okay, from this and this research paper published on this and this date, it is known that we spent 4 hours on Facebook or whatever. It always, when in a research paper, that always puts in a lot of credibility. Yeah. Otherwise, very good energy again, and very good topic that you can find this out from that scene that you described. Very, very, very well done. Good speech and good evaluation, Seemaji. Big round of applause to both of you. Perfect. Now let us go to the other evaluator we had on the session today. And so we had the the table topics evaluator, which would be played by Kitish. So Kitish, if you could present the evaluation of table topic speakers.
Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters. It was really an interesting, engrossing and engaging session. The table topic session was, so thank you for that. The first speaker that we had today was Toastmaster Namami, and her topic was the future depends on what you do today. And Toastmaster Namami, you talked about goals, how they decide your actions, and how both of them impact your planning. So the GAP theory was excellent. You had proper hand gestures and a proper call to action there. So great job done there. A single recommendation for you is that in between your speech, of your 2-minute speech, you talked about journal writing. It was a great input indeed, but I felt that it vanished in between the speech. So please keep a better note to your speech structure. Thank you for participating. The second speaker was guest Arnab, and his topic was a man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. And you, Arnab, took out the literal meaning of this topic, that we use raw materials to form products, good raw materials form better products, and bad raw materials form worse products. That was a great take indeed. A small recommendation for you is when you forgot the topic, you deviated a little from what you're speaking. So I would recommend you to be more deliberate, more conscious about what you speak. And this is what I am personally telling you that I learned in Toastmasters to be more deliberate. So I would really love hearing more from you. Please keep joining us. Thank you so much. The third table topic speaker was Toastmaster Rupesh, and his topic was in a gentle way, you can shake the world. And like always, Toastmaster Rupesh, you shook the core of me, as always you do in table topic section. You talked about and gave the personal example of your brother who joined our army, and he was given the nominated for the Veer Chakra. You had proper hand gestures, voice modulations, and you even translated the Hindi slogans by our Netaji that tum mujhe khoon do, main tumhe azadi dunga. So great, distinguished job done there. A small recommendation to you, since you are a veteran in participating in table topics, is try to utilize the power of pauses. Like when you said that your heroic brother got his hand broken uh, while in the war, and still he fought, and then sadly he got comatose. So this is a deep thing. A proper pause here would have made it an even deeper scene. Great job done there. Thank you so much. The fourth speaker was Toastmaster Seema, and it takes really courageous to me to not call you a DTMM. Your topic was the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service of others. You shared two anecdotes with personal touch, one you being in your childhood, then transforming into the motherhood, and the other about your daughter. No recommendation for you. You were great. Thank you. Thank you so much. The fifth speaker was Toastmaster Shubhabrata, and so your topic was strength does not come from physical capacities, it comes from indomitable will. The thing that I liked in your take, Toastmaster Shubhabrata, was that you raised a question that how we should instill these values in our future generations. And another distinguished thing that I liked was that you used the word of the day, altruistic. And indeed, it is a hard job to use the word of the day in an impromptu session when you're under the pressure of a table topic. So great job done there. Only recommendation to you is to maintain an eye contact through this pesky little camera hole. See, in between your speech, it felt like you were reading from your screen. So maintaining an eye contact from the camera hole will remove this and as well as create a connection with the audience. Great take there. Thank you so much. Our penultimate speaker was guest Rajesh, and his topic was You must be the change you wish to see in the world. And I must applaud you, Toastmaster Rajesh, guest Rajesh, that even though you were occupied, you were not confident, and you were nervous, you put your leg forward and jumped in participating in table topics. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we please unmute ourselves and give applause to guest Rajesh? Thank you for participating. Thank you. Thank you. You talked about education and its importance in the world. You even asked questions to the audience in correlation with your topic. So kudos to you for that. A small recommendation for you, guest Rajesh, is to speak a little slower than you were speaking because I felt that few words were jumbling and it kind of confused me that what you were trying to say. And another thing is you are not needed to tell sorry to us. It was indeed our privilege to hear to you. Please keep coming to Toastmasters. Please keep joining our future meetings. Thank you so much. Our ultimate speaker was Distinguished Toastmaster Brati Shankar Ghosh. And sir, your topic was we can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of strong. And you talked about your personal story of childhood friendship. And that made me remember that powerful word, if you all can recall, kattis. Just showing our pinky finger, it broke the friendship. And just by touching the thumbs, it strengthened it. So, and then you shared your personal story about you and your son going in Durga Puja. You had a proper call to action that you will be remembered not for your attitude and ego, but what you do today. No recommendation for you, just a gentle reminder that to polish your table topic skills even more, Please keep coming to VirtuoMasters. We would really, really love your insightful topics. Thank you so much. That was all in my report. And over to you, Sir General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Kitish. Can we have a big round of applause for this very young Toastmasters? Whenever I asked about him to any other Toastmasters, there are three words I always heard: enthusiasm, inquisitiveness, and youth. And all of them were on show on the podium today. Well, we also hear about his hairdo, and I keep noticing that as well. So well done, Toastmaster Kitish. Just one recommendation, Toastmaster. See, you have several commendations about table topics, right? And you have maybe one or a couple of recommendations. So try to, when you're presenting it, try to make it in a way that your last sentence is not a recommendation, because then that person goes back with a little bit of, down. So try to make the last one a commendation, include the recommendation, the couple of recommendation, one recommendation in between, and structure your feedback in a way that the last one is something to pump that person up once more, right? But very, very well done. Very comprehensive and very, very well done. Okay, so let's go to the volunteers I had. The good thing about being general evaluator is all you have to do is call different people to make their presentations. Right, so first we'll start with the timer, and we had Ayush as the timer. Ayush, if you could please present the time report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So the timer report for the day is all of them has been on time, but the evaluators were excited to give the recommendations and the commendations. So they took more time. And other than that, everyone were within time of the time allotted. So the evaluator just took 3 minutes 32 seconds and 3 minutes 35 seconds. So in case of Shima Ramesh, there was a 5 minutes gap due to the gap of 5 seconds because there was some miscommunication. So I just wanted to ask, what should be
If
done?
you think there is 5 seconds, then we can give out that 5 seconds and consider her 3:30.
Okay. So I think we should give that. So other than that, there are only, in case of Toastmaster Sharmitha Ghosh, it's 3 minutes 32 seconds, just 2 seconds more, but rules are rules. So I believe that it's beyond the 3 minutes 30 seconds time. So that's my report for the day. Thank you, General Evaluator. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ayush, for presenting that very well kept report. Well done. Can we now go to the R counter? The R counter helped us by Sweta, Toastmaster Sweta. Could you please present your report?
Distinguished Toastmaster Brati, Sweta is not here. She had to leave, but she gave her report to me. So can I present it?
Please go ahead to Toastmaster Shilpa.
Okay. So people who were flawless were Distinguished Toastmaster Brati, Toastmaster Namami, Toastmaster Rima, Toastmaster Rupesh, and Toastmaster Shubroto. Toastmaster Aleka used multiple R's. Toastmaster Rima Das used multiple R's, couple of ums, and so multiple times. Toastmaster Kshitij used couple of R's. Toastmaster Arnab Nandi used couple of R's, multiple ums. Toastmaster Rajesh used multiple of R's, ums, and few repetitions. That's all, General Evaluator, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Shilpa, and also to Toastmaster Sweta for jointly presenting the R counters report. Well done. Well done. And in this meeting of collaboration, this is the perfect example of how we should get the work done. Next, we go to the grammarian, and presenting the report of the grammarian is Toastmaster Aleko.
Thank you, TTM Rati. I will. So I've noted down few of the good uses. The session was full of quotations and really inspiring words. And let me reiterate those things so that we can remember those usages, right? So we started off with the the slogans of our the motto for our armed forces, and I would like to repeat them. For the Indian Army, it's service before self. For Indian Navy, it's Samno Varuna, which is in Sanskrit. And for the Indian Air Force, it's touch the sky with glory. Now coming to the speakers, right? We had really good quotations, which I really liked. Fear kills more dreams than failures ever will. So this is uh, and in line to this, we also had like fear of making a mistake is a mistake in making. And these two are synonymous, but really I like the usage of words over here. And then we had are we using the tool, or is the tool using us, which Toastmaster Namami used for while representing the usage of social media, and how like instead of we using social media actually manipulates us and our choices. And and again, like synonymous to the same sentence was is the juice even worth the squeeze? And distinguished Toastmaster Rati, you said a very nice sentence: to forgive is divine. The word of the day was used 4 times, and thanks to the Toastmasters and the speakers who have used those. Coming to the not so good usage of words, which could have been better said, like it was within my comfortable zone, could have been said as within my comfort zone. Um, sheer out of luck. Uh, uh, in my opinion, it would be better if we say if we would have used sheer luck, sheer out of luck. Like in my opinion, sheer luck becomes is a like probably a better usage of the sentence, though it conveys the same meaning. And there was like before joining I was thinking, so that would like it would be better like if I thought, if we could have shortened it to I thought. So these were a few of the observations, and that's all for my report. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator of the Day, DTM Rati. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Grammarian Aleko, Toastmaster Aleko. A big round of applause for all the 3 volunteers, please, who has helped and made my life a lot simpler as a general evaluator. So we had a brilliant gem of a session, something I'm sure we are going to remember for a long time that is going to come in the future. Because we started perfectly on time. We were supposed to start at 3:45 Indian Standard Time. It started at 3:45 Indian Standard Time, irrespective, even if some people were not present at that moment. Very well done to the, I'm not sure the he is still there, Anurag, very well done. And then you started with a nice quote from Henry Ford. You presented all the rules. The only thing I can suggest is maybe give a little more time for the applause. So when you ask people to applaud, at least for the first applaud of the session, give a little more time, put a little more energy, and then start on with it. But a great start with a great quote, which is very relevant to the whole topic that that was there. So well done. And then we went to the acting president of the day, Toastmaster Shilpa. Again, nice, very nice story. Some of us probably have heard it, but again, this is a story that doesn't get old. It has humor, it has a message, it has everything that you can want to be in a story. You also had presented it very well. The only thing I felt is it was presented more like a way you were reading it out rather than speaking it out. So maybe if you could try presenting the story just like we try a speech before we actually deliver the speech, it would come out even more nice. A little bit of a pause, which you are very capable of. I know. If you can do that, it will come out even better. But a very nice choice of a story, and then you started interacting with people, which is what the president should do. So very well handled, all the boxes ticked kind of president's speech. And then we moved on to the TMOD. What a session by the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mridula. Starting from the choice of the theme, working on that theme, creating that presentation, interacting with everyone, and sometimes even making us feel, are we enough, are we adequately handled, or are we adequately knowledgeable about what is happening all around us, even for people who are spending their lives or protecting us. So very nicely presented all throughout this session. You had coming up with the quizzes, with this tidbits, informations, and so on. Only thing I can suggest is when you started, it seemed a little bit theoretical, it's talking about what service. If you could start with an incident, there are so many incidents around. If you could start with an incident, if you could start with a quotation or a story, that would have been a great start. It did come, but came a little later. So that you could try. Otherwise, the whole thing was planned very, very meticulously. Really well done, Toastmaster of the day. And then we had the table topic section. And the thing that I really liked about this section is that not only was the table topics in accordance or relevant to the theme of the day, but our table topic master was able to find out a sub-theme within a theme. So it was service before self. And she found out the best person who would be matching that is Mahatma Gandhi, who also have his death anniversary tomorrow. So everything was so relevantly linked. And then every one of the topic is a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. So very well designed, well researched, well presented, and very, very relevant to the theme. The amount of work that has been put in was very evident. And this is what Toastmaster is all about, ladies and gentlemen, putting in the work and not thinking about the, about the results that would come out. So very well done, Toastmaster of the day. Every one of the table topic speakers was very good. Guest Rajesh specifically I will mention because the other speakers have spoken before. Arnav probably have speaking for the second time at a Toastmaster session, but other than that, everyone has spoken multiple times before. You are probably the first time. I'm not sure if Rajesh is here. He is not, but still, hats off to him for his courage to come over to the podium and speak. The one thing about table topic speakers that I would say, Kitish gave a very good detailed evaluation of how you should speak and what would go in good. When you're speaking on table topics, there are three things about table topics at a very broad level. One is understanding the topic. Second is giving a personal connect to the topic, a personal incident or an anecdote or something. And third, giving a message on that topic. So if you get these three things right in a table topic, then you have got the base right. Then you can put in your pauses, your quotes, and your humor. All those can come on the top of this. But if you get these three things right, you are a good table topic speaker. In some of these cases, some of the speakers, the topic and the speech was slightly astray. So make sure, sometimes that can happen if your story, if you like a particular story so much that you tend to go with the story rather than going with the topic. So make sure when you are picking up a story, if you can pick up a story that is absolutely relevant to the topic, or if required, change the story a little bit. No one is going to know if it is your personal story. So no one is going to know what actually happened. The story is important from the point of view of making the message, right? So sometimes some of the speeches I felt was a little away from the topic, would have been a little better if you could have adhered to the topic a little more. But very well presented to each speaker with personal stories, with a message in each of the speeches. And in most cases, you were on the top. So really well done to all the speakers. Kitish, I already have spoken about. He did a very good job, very energetic presentation of the table topic evaluation. Right. So with that, I come to the end of my evaluation of what was shining like a star today and what could be a little more polished to make it shine like a star in the future. And I hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day, Mridula, to take this session forward. Over to you, Toastmaster Mridula.
Can we have a huge round of applause for our distinguished team of evaluators led by Distinguished Toastmaster Brati and his team of amazing evaluators who gave us a very meticulous take on how we can improve on ourselves. And with that, we come to an end of our meeting with the theme of the day. Please try to remember that one person can make a difference, and you have the power in you to do that. Everyone should try. And just like our table topic master said, you should be the change you wish to see in this world. Thank you to all the Toastmasters and the guests who joined this session and made it a wonderful memory for all of us to remember by. With the three important powers that all of us have, an altruistic nature, an earnestness to help each other, to serve the people, and an indomitable will, we can definitely serve others as well as serve ourselves in the process. With that, let's welcome our president for the evening, Toastmaster Sharmistha Ghosh, to share her final words of wisdom. Over to you, Toastmaster Sharmistha.
Well, today's session was really like a bouquet of so many thoughts, so many things for us to introspect, to understand, to take back all the things. Many of us know all these things, but how many of us follow or practice this in real life? With that, at the service before self, as Toastmaster Seema has rightly said, it need not be, we need not go to an organization, or we need not go out to learn or to the service. We can do it at our home only. And coming to the Toastmaster session, it's also a service before self, because we are here sacrificing maybe our personal priorities and coming over here to improve ourselves and improve our fellow members to improve in their Toastmaster journey. So this can also be a service before self. We have heard a lot from all our distinguished speakers, all the table topic speakers, and there are a lot to carry home today. And I really, really feel privileged to be attending such a session as a Toastmaster, and also it's my privilege to be concluding this session with a happy note. With that, I think all of us has enjoyed this session as much as I did. And we really would love to come back to have such joint session in future with so many, when there is a conglomerate of so many eminent speakers, evaluators, everybody like shining stars coming here in a constellations, and we have such a wonderful way to spend our weekend on. With that, let me just conclude this session, and with the hope that we will be coming back again in such session in near future.
Picture.
Oh yes, the picture can we have? And also, if the results are out, would like to just request our Sa to declare the results if he may wish.
Ayush, can you please share the results with the president? Ayush is the one who made this voting link.
Okay, no need to share with me. I think he can have the privilege to announce the results.
All right.
Toastmaster.
But first come on video if you can, because we can take a pic then.
Many of the people have already left, but nevertheless, whoever is there.
The best speaker is Toastmaster Rimadas.
Wait, let's take the picture.
Who will take the picture, please?
I am taking one, and Kshitij is also taking one.
Yeah.
So, okay, on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Great job.
Thank you.
Ayush, please proceed.
Best speaker for the day is Toastmaster Rimadas. The best tag role player is the grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Alekhya Chaudhary. The best evaluator for the day is Toastmaster Seema Ramesh. The best role player is Distinguished Toastmaster Prati Shankar Ghosh. And the best table topic, any guesses? Is Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh Singh. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster
Thank you.
Ayush, for presenting that results. And I'm so glad that the most deserving one has got the award. And with that, I would like to conclude this session and declare this session as a close.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming over
everyone.
and to make this session so entertaining and knowledgeable.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
ma'am.
Thank
I
you.
would like to say
Bye.
you all, I would just like to inform you that we are going to have our 100th meeting on 12th February. Please do join us. And also we will have our joint session again at the end of this month, the last meeting of this month also for February. So we have planned that every month, the last session will be our joint session.
Wow, that's a great announcement, Toastmaster Shilpa. We would love to be there in those sessions.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharmishta. So looking forward for it, and do join us on our 100 meeting. We will have a small celebration of our 100 meeting.
Sure.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank
can
you
you
all.
please
Bye.
stop the recording?
Okay.